how are we currently turning $1 into $5 right now in this day and age with ads, AI, and GoHighLevel? That's exactly what I'll explain to you in this video. By the way, my name is Orien. I'm the co-founder of GHLU with my lovely wife and co-founder as well, Zahabiya. We together have collectively generated over $1 million with GoHighLevel and AI, and we've been around for the last 3 years, implementing marketing agency services for local businesses and for agencies, as well as selling AI information. We've also been around and endorsed by some pretty big names, including Molly and Matt. You can search them up. They're pretty big in the AI space. And in this video, I'll be addressing three main concerns: the trust recession that's occurring, which is leading to rising ad costs; the slow response time whenever new leads opt in, like why a business is still relying on Excel spreadsheets and not AI, and how we're currently implementing that and addressing it for existing clients, as well as how can we get clearer tracking so that we know how much we put in and how much we generate out without paying for expensive marketing agencies and expensive softwares. Let's begin. So currently, what we see working in the industry is something called mind reading ads, called problem statement ads. What we essentially do is we create a series of, about 10 to 20 ad creatives with very, very ugly looking ads. But we want these to essentially call out the ideal pain point that our ICP has, right? Ideal customer profile. So if I was going after home service businesses, I would say, cool, home service businesses, what sort of problems are you currently experiencing? And does this resonate with you? Now, the reason we do this is because marketing has, in my personal opinion, the online marketing space has diluted itself with a lot of get rich quick, a lot of offers that doesn't necessarily resonate, a lot of guarantees that people don't necessarily believe in, which has resulted in rising ad costs. So if you can articulate your ideal prospects' problems clearer than they can articulate it themselves, you're going to have a winning offer, or you're going to have a winning ad, or you're going to have a winning problem statement, which you can then turn into an ad. The next question is, how can you find these problem statements? What are the problems that people of your ideal ICP are currently experiencing? Through the sales team, obviously, right? You can ask what are the most common issues that you are currently hearing from qualified prospects, customer service teams, customer interviews, or unconverted prospects. So, you can essentially ask them hey, what were the problems that you were experiencing and why did you not convert into a client? These are the areas that you can find it, or you can go into businesses, you can call them up, you can do podcasts with them. There are many, many ways to source problem statements to identify what the main problem your clients are experiencing. We got this inspiration from this lovely gentleman called Ryan Dice, who did a webinar about a year ago. And this is how he is currently generating ad campaigns, Google and Facebook ad campaigns for his $200 million portfolio. So what we did, because I have a technical co-founder, is we created our own AI problem statement ad generation software. Hey Ryan, if you're watching this, you're my biggest fan. Which essentially helps create the flow of creating problem statement ads, the creatives, the headlines, the copy, and as well as that, you can input the data into that form to say, hey, this is your winning ad campaign, or hey, this is your winning problem statement. And the great thing here is with problem statements, right? Anyone can do it. Genuinely, anyone can do it with $100 or $10 per day for 7 days. You can find statistically significant results. Super simple. You can also send traffic to a relevant landing page or a home page or whatever it is, or not to a home page, right? Fundamentally, you're using it to gather data. Here are some of the campaign objectives on Facebook, right? You want performance goals to be clicks. You want the budget to be $10 to $100, sort of $70 to $100 spend, ideally. And you want to target your best performing audiences, ideally audiences between 5 to 10 million. Again, you can go broad, doesn't matter too much, as well as you want to send traffic to a relevant landing page. The goal is to have a sub 2% CTR and a sub 0.4 cost per click. We tend to let Facebook do its thing and do its magic and send traffic to what they think is the most ideal problem statement to present in front of our audience. Once you have found out which one delivers the highest clicks, then you can create your own creatives. So here are a couple of examples. For instance, if you were, in the laser hair removal space, This would be an ideal problem statement that your client would have. I hate waxing and plucking. I wish I never had to do it again. So imagine someone's feeling that and they see an ad that says, forget spending endless hours waxing, plucking, or shaving hair. Laser hair removal is long lasting and really works. Plus, now it's up to 80% off. Okay, cool. I am very interested because this directly resonates to the problem that I'm currently experiencing. Same thing with Ryan Dyer. So this is what Ryan currently has up and running. And his problem statements, or his problems that his ideal audience has, is CEOs and I believe companies generating between 1 to 5 million, and he helps them go up to 20 to 30. And they typically don't have any dashboards or metrics, or they have no one in the company that knows the metrics that matters the most. So he gives away a free lead magnet. Business owners missing the data you need to make strong business decisions. You need a CEO dashboard. Download the free CEO dashboard template today. So this is again the problem statements that his ideal clients have. He created a lead magnet to try and attract them, or a sexy enough offer for them to opt in. And based on the opt-in form and what they say, if they qualify, they go schedule a call. If they don't qualify, then maybe they get sent to a paid course or whatever form of whatever back-end offer that Ryan has. I'm sure he's got many different funnels associated to this. For us personally at GHU, we have a series of GoHighLevel and AI training courses and explainer videos showcasing to people how to onboard their first few clients, get set up with AI. And these are the problem statements that we specifically target, right? So we don't really know how to use GoHighLevel and AI, and we don't really know how to get clients onboarded. That is what we do, and that's the problems that we target, and we've been running this for over a year and a half now. So yeah, as well as that, we also have influencers and people who have reviewed us, people who have given us great testimonials, promote our services, and we ran those as ads, and that's been genuinely one of the highest performing campaigns that we've ran since. So regarding the ads, so the ads specifically for our clients as well. Once we figure out the problem statement that resonates with the audience and what they're trying to do, we create ad campaigns as such, so static based, using AI. So we use software called Ideogram. Fantastic platform, fantastic software to use if you're ever considering creating these AI images, as well as these AI generated video ads that basically go over your offer, what you do, how it works. As you can see, the way we've designed it is we have a headline at the top and then a sort of a directive to watch the full video with a loading screen that says, like we want to try and retain the client as much as we can throughout the entire short, right? So the idea around this is that with the new Facebook update, you want to create as many variations or angles in your offer so that you can stand out, your ads actually go and get pushed out to your ideal ICP with various angles. Idea is to attract the audience, build a know, like, and trust, add copy that resonates, and a clear call to action at the end. In addition to that, leads that opt in, right? They are like popcorn. They won't all necessarily pop. Like the kernels, no matter how long you cook them for, sometimes they just don't pop. And that's okay, right? That's okay. But you can have leads that as soon as they come in, they pop instantly. You can have leads that take a little bit of time to pop. The idea here is that we don't know when they will, but you want to be top of mind when they are about to pop, when they're about to make a decision making. When they are about to make a decision, you want to be front of mind and top of mind. That's why you need aggressive follow-up. Very briefly, we talked about the ad and the problem statements, which has been created. Next, we're going to be talking about the landing page, the qualifying survey, and then the booking process and the thank you page. This is how we're currently running our system to generate, put $1 in, get $5 out. This is what we're also implementing for our clients. In addition to that, the sales funnel. So in the sales funnel, we have something like this. So this is the one that we're currently using. Essentially, it is a simple headline at the top with a risk reversal over here and a nice video sales letter that lasts between 3 to 5 minutes, educating your prospects, showing proof, building the know, like, and trust factor, and so forth, with a simple call to action button at the bottom to try and get them to book or fill out their information. We also have various funnels that we use. So if you're in various niches like real estate, solar, med spas, legal, HVAC, dental, fitness, hospitality, we have AI funnels that we can use to demonstrate the same thing essentially, right? In the sense of like, hey, if you're an AI agency and you wanted a funnel like this to demonstrate your AI voice, We have these, we build it out for our clients. We can talk more about that later. In addition to that, we also have on the landing page, we subscribe to a software called Vidyalytics, which helps show the play rate and the drop-off rate of our video sales letter. So you can see how many people play it, how many unique viewers are there, what's the average watch time, impressions, and unmute rate. In this, we're able to then alter or adjust the landing page and the video sales letter to try and optimize for the highest watch rate. Because if you can get people to watch through your sales letter, you can get people to know, like, and trust you more, and you can get people to be more committed to filling out the form, booking the demo call, and actually showing up and potentially purchasing as well. Speaking of which, how can we get more of those types of people? On our survey page, and then before I actually get into that, we get a lot of clients or a lot of business owners that come to us and say, hey, the leads that we generate are low quality. Now, before we get into how we can improve lead quality, I want to define what actually is a good quality lead. Well, a good quality lead is how likely a prospect is to buy based on their fit and their intent, urgency, resources, and behavior. In short, lead quality predicts conversion. Better quality leads mean higher show-up rates, smoother calls, and far higher closing rates, as I mentioned to you earlier. So ideally, we made this mistake for quite a long time. You want to optimize. I know this is counterintuitive, but you want to optimize and generate campaigns with higher friction rates. For us personally, we have 4 to 5 questions on our opt-in form that grade the lead from 1 to 4 that tells our sales team, hey, this is a quality lead, follow up aggressively with this lead, or hey, this is probably a low quality lead. Best not to. The reason we suggest this, and I know for us before in the past, we optimized for low cost per lead as opposed to cost per qualified lead. We realized that, let's say our average cost per lead was about $10. Turns out our cost per qualified lead was about 10 to 20 times X that. True cost to acquire a lead of that quality, which is just the name of the game. But what this means is that we generate leads that want what we offer, right? We solve their problem or their goals matches our solution. They can buy what we offer. They have the budget, the authority, and the bandwidth, and they're aligned with how we deliver and expectations that match your model and timeline. I'm realizing the more I get into this game, it's not necessarily about your sales and marketing skills. You can spend an egregious amount of money on paid ads, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. You can have a fantastic sales team, great. But if your product doesn't deliver on the things that you describe it, you're just going to get a poor reputation. Again, your close rate's going to go down, your show-up rate's going to go down, and your Trustpilot and your reviews aren't quite there. So fundamentally, all of this is great, and all of this is what we do for our clients. And I'm grateful to have over 100 plus reviews, Trustpilot reviews, YouTube channels. Like, I have enough social proof. However, you still need more. And that's just the reality of the situation that we live in this day and age. Moving on to the next point, which is the actual schedule and the calendars associated with lead generation. Because after you generate leads, you need a system to turn that lead into a booked call. Ideally, we have self schedules, which allows us to generate, we don't need setters, we don't need people to call leads. Basically, we can have people book themselves in for calls, which is fine. Or you can have an appointment setter or an AI caller, which I'll discuss later, to book them in as well. Now, we sort of like 4 calendars and 2 segments. So we have the intro calendar and we have the demo calendar. Now, the intro calendar ads is for self-booking. So whenever new leads opt in on the ads calendar, it will be considered as a intro call. And then whenever our appointment setter or our AI callers book them in, it will be in the intro calendar setter calendar. Now, why you can see there's a 20-minute timer here and a 30-minute timer. Why are there different times? Well, the 20-minute one is for leads that we do not qualify. The ads calendar are marked as blue. The demo calendars, the setter calendars are marked as yellow. Now, the introductory calendar is there for one reason only: to see if the leads that aren't qualified are a good fit for our services. Now, we've had incidences where leads who fill out the form who are unqualified. Now, what do I mean by unqualified again? I don't think I defined that specifically for our use case. Unqualified is someone who's making under 10K, who is generating under $1,000 in marketing spend, and who has been in business less than 1 year, because we're going after specifically businesses. These guys, we don't know if they have the necessary capital to invest into our program, right? And our program could be between 4 to 5 figures, depending on the build out that businesses want. But that, doesn't mean that there isn't an opportunity to pitch them something or downsell them into something that might be more suitable for their needs at their given moment in time in their journey in this AI space. So what we do is we set them up for a 20-minute phone call appointment with a triager. Now, a triager is someone who triages between the lead generation to the closer. We don't want to use up closers' time because closers' times are valuable and they don't want to be dealing with time wasters or people who they can't close with, as well as we want to conserve their energy for the highest quality leads. It's very, very, very difficult. If you have a closer who's back to back to back to back, now I've seen this before in a 7 and 8 figure, about a multi 7-figure online business in this space. His calendar is got 16 calls, 30 minutes, back to back to back to back to back, and he has to perform like that every single day, months on end. 2 years in a row he's done that, and which is great, but I don't believe that's sustainable and reliable, because if that person was to go out for a holiday, you have no one there to sell for you, which means you're in big trouble. So that's why we have multiple closers, and they ideally only want to speak to leads that are of quality. This is how it's set up currently. So as you can see, on Facebook itself specifically, we have the landing page. So you got the actual advertisement, you have the landing page, and then you have these two calendars. Now, there's something called a Facebook pixel. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard of it, but essentially what a Facebook pixel is this piece of code that you attach onto a funnel page that sends the information back to Facebook to say, hey, look, we really like these types of leads. Can you please try and identify more of them? This can be used for purchase events. This can be used for lead generation. This can be used for scheduling. With the filter questions, right? So as I just demonstrated to you, we have filter questions for if they're qualified and unqualified. We send the pixel information back on the, guess what? Qualified calendar. Woo! So whenever a new lead is generated, it goes to the qualified calendar, and this we have a new lead event pixel code added into the funnel page, so that sends that information back to Facebook that says, hey, cool, this is the true cost per qualified lead. That is the reality of this, as well as this is the true cost per qualified scheduled call. Whilst people who don't qualify still get a booking, but they don't necessarily get that information sent back to Facebook. And this is how it's structured on GoHighLevel. So we set up the pixel on the demo page, which sends, again, like I said, new lead information back, as well as on the schedule page, on the thank you page of the demo. So pixel information is on the booking demo page. This is when they go to this step, it's a new lead. When they go to the thank you page, it is what we consider a schedule. Again, pixels are great because you basically want to punch unqualified leads and just shoo them away, and only generate qualified leads by sending them to the thank you page. As soon as you generate a lead, what happens? Well, a lead generates and completely ghosts to you afterwards. You know, they might have been curious about your lead magnet. They might have wanted to see what your follow-up was. You know, there's many reasons why people fill in their information online and actually don't do anything afterwards. In fact, between 5 to 15% end up booking a consultation. The majority require lead nurturing and following up. Well, Orion, like how do we get around that? Very simply put, many businesses have relied a lot on humans, a lot on like humans to follow up with leads, book them in for appointments, and go from there. In this current day and age, we have our very own trained AI sales expert, right? Trained AI sales expert. What this means is AI has the ability to contact a lead up to 10 times within the first 24 or 48 hours. Ideally, we have 1 to 3 touch points before giving up, and agents can call between 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily, Monday to Friday. Look, the majority of leads that opt in, 80% of potential opportunities are lost without trace simply due to a lack of follow-up. 3% of your market are ready to buy now. But 97% of them, right? They don't know. They know they are not interested. They know that they're not thinking about it. They know that they are potentially open to it, and they don't think that they're interested, but they could potentially buy. This is the majority of the market. Just like the popcorn analogy, if you had an AI expert continuously following up with them over text, over email, and over voice calling, guess what would happen? You'd probably close a few more sales from the leads that you generate. And the great thing here is we have our own AI platform. We use a platform called Assistable, which we add onto our service delivery, or you can build them out using NAN and Make. Again, either platform works. We've been using this personally, and it essentially generates dials for us, calls for us, conversations for us, and appointment bookings as well. We do this for our clients and for ourselves. So it's freaking fantastic. And last but not least, we also have a pretty cool software, a pretty cool workflow in GoHighLevel that follows up with people over SMS and phone forever. Now, what I mean by that is that it runs nonstop until the goal is met, whether that's a booked call or any trackable actions. This workflow, essentially, you roll a dice between 1 and 4, and depending on the dice it rolls, so let's say it rolls a 1, it will then wait a day and call the lead. If nothing happens, it'll do the same thing. It'll roll the dice between 1 and 4. If it rolls 4, it waits 4 days, calls the lead. There you go. It will essentially keep calling this person until there is an end result. So follow-up is aggressive and follow-up is necessary to be able to convert leads that you spend a lot of money acquiring, right? We just talked about the average cost per qualified lead is actually 10 to 20x more than you expect. So you probably want a system on the back end to nurture and handle the continuous following up, as opposed to human-based follow-up or using a human-based receptionist or a human-based call center. AI is the way moving forward. And even though right now, the quality that you'd like, in the next few years, I believe we will no longer have receptionists or human-based call centers. It'll all be based on AI. If you don't believe me, by the way, simply scan the QR code. You can take a look at our funnels. You can take a look at what we do. What we do for ourselves, we implement for our clients. So scan the QR code, take a look, go for it. Next, this is sort of some of the, we talked about the whole sales funnel. We talked about the actual ad, the problem statements, the landing page itself, the survey-based questions, the calendars. Now, this is another huge blocker in booking online appointments for yourself and for your clients, is that people block the calendars, right? Or they don't block it. Please make sure you block specific points in your calendar so that you can take calls at those points, right? There you go. As well as that, now we want to talk about show up rates. Blocking calendars is one, so making sure you have enough availability. Secondly, show up rates. So just because someone booked the appointment doesn't mean that they're actually going to show up. And I found out a beautiful way to ethically bribe people, which will increase show up rates by 12% by implementing what we call an ethical bribe. So what I mean by that is on the SMS and email nurture sequences before people show up for that call, you essentially want to either send them a photo, introducing yourself and saying, hey, look, excited to see you soon. Or like, let's say it's a gym, for instance. You can say, hey, look, we've already got your gym outfit prepared. Would you prefer a black shirt or a white shirt? You do an if else, not like an or statement to try and let them know that you're already preparing for this meeting. You've already got something ready to give to them when they do show up. It would be disingenuous if they were to ignore you, not show up, not actually be available. And I learned this all from my good friend Aaron Darkane, who runs Call Center Mastery. So anyone who wants to build a human-based call center and deliver results for your clients, if you're a social media marketing agency, would highly recommend him and his services. As well as this lovely gentleman over here, Matt Dacino. He is a true mentor of mine. He runs a multi-7-figure chat support, onboarding support, white label services for GoHighLevel businesses. And he invented something called the dynamic nurture. Again, these resources will be linked in the description or in the comment section below. What this does is you can kind of see here, right, at the back of the screen, it says, hey, yo, our call is going to be epic. Hey, yo can be dynamic. So I can put my name, Orion. I can put my wife's name, Zabs. I can put your name, whatever your name is, in that. And essentially, it almost feels like Matt had written his name or your name on the screen on the back. It's really cool. I'll link the video in the description or in the comment section below. And it can, once you actually get the person to show, you actually probably need to do a proper sales process. Now, again, this is not a sales training video, although we do have a whole host of sales training that comes along with closing deals, getting close rates to be higher than 20-30%, what to do when they need a follow-up call, what are the objections that they experience. It's all included as well. And for us personally, because we do a 2-call process, we want to make sure the numbers are aligned with our target goals. So if we had a program price of a certain amount, an average retainer after that, they signed up, and we have churn, active clients, we have the amount spent and the average cost per lead. Again, like I would highly recommend, we again have these resources in our communities below, is that you input your 2-call close calculator to identify the numbers that have to align for you to reach your goal. And as you can see, you simply have to input the light blue, light green colored statistics, and you can have the Excel spreadsheet tell you what your numbers are actually and if they are close enough to hitting your target goals over here. So we do this on a monthly basis. We do this with our clients as well. Whether they run a 1-call or a 2-call process, we do that as well. And reporting. So fundamentally, you have generated the system, or we have generated the system for our clients. We want to know is actually happening when we do have these systems occurring, when you are spending thousands and thousands or hundreds and thousands of dollars on paid advertisement. Or what's your show rate? What's your close rate? What's the feedback? Like, systems without feedback, it's a shit show. It's a mess. We have done this by implementing status update forms. Now, as you can see, this is an example connected to our Slack account that shows us the status of our intro calls, status of our demo calls. And we create these forms that look like this, that essentially tell us the outcome of those calls. So because our team and many of our clients run a 2-call process, we have our post-intro call form, which they fill out, which grades the leads, right? So you can score it 1 out of 10. 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 10, 10 being the highest quality, 6 and 3 and 2 being the lowest. This is also vital because what we can do is we can send, again, information back to the pixel that says, hey, cool, like, please try and identify more of these types of clients because they are ideal fit. Whilst the ones that are 1 to 3 or 4 to 6, they don't get that information sent back to them. In addition to that, this is sort of the workflows that we currently have regarding the intro status form. Again, the intro call is for leads that are unqualified, but could be a good fit. So we still schedule a call with them. It's 20 minutes long. If we fill out the post status form, let's say a person no-shows or cancels, we immediately tag them, immediately move them to that pipeline, and then there are associated automations. So SMS, email, text, nurture sequences associated with that stage. So if a person no-shows me, I click no-show, texts, emails, the team, AI calls them, AI follows up with them. We have an email campaign that sends them a bunch of emails. So we have a note, a long-term email nurture campaign that sends them emails. Like, this is so dialed in because I know the true cost per qualified lead is a lot of money. And if you're spending all that time and effort to generate leads on the front end, and you just because they no-show or just because they cancel or just because something didn't happen for them to commit to actually showing up, you need to do your best to try and get them on that call and follow up with them aggressively. And last but not least, like I mentioned to you, any leads that score above an 8 or 7, we have something called a conversion API, which, again, fancy terms, it basically means like, hey, we're sending information back to the pixel to say, hey, cool, please find more of these guys and girls. Send back to Meta as purchase event if hyper qualified. Again, it doesn't need to be a purchase event. It's a lead generating event for us specifically. Same thing here with the post demo form. So demo forms are typically where we go through the sales process. Again, you can fill out if an offer was made. You can fill out the status of that call, as well as you can upload the transcript of that call into the call transcript section. And what we've also included is an AI agent that automatically reviews sales calls, provides feedback, and lets the sales manager knows, hey, look, cool, this is what we need to improve, or this is what we don't need to improve on, etc., etc., etc. And same thing here. Once the sales rep fills out the post demo form, it immediately moves them to sections that they need, right? The no-show rate, the cancellation rate, the follow-up, booked appointments, disqualified, didn't close, closed, etc. And it moves them to the correct opportunity there. Same thing, conversion API. If they qualified, it goes and sends that information back to Facebook. If they disqualify, it doesn't. And you might end up with something that looks like this. If you fill out all the forms, if everything's accurate, we have our own Excel spreadsheet on the back end that pulls in all this information from paid ads, from leads booking, from intro calls, from demo calls to deals to ROI generated, to true cost per demo showed, how many offers were made, so cost per offer, speed to lead, dollars per lead, cost per qualified showed, cost per intro showed, cost per input booked. All of that information in one Excel spreadsheet so that you and your team have real life data to showcase what's going on. And then you can also have data that looks like this, where you can, again, like I mentioned, know where the campaign name, or the ad set name, or the ad name came from. Know the quality of leads that are coming in through those specific campaigns, so you can know which ad to turn on, which ad to turn off, without spending a fuck ton of money on softwares like ROAS, which actually costs a lot of money if you're using it correctly. As well as that, right? Typically, we've seen this before, where when leads opt in or when leads show up, clients don't really give true feedback on the appointments that end up occurring, right? So in order for marketing to work, in order for you to put $1 in and get $5 out, you need to sell. You need to sell the leads that are showing up, which means if your show rate and if your sales rate or your close rate isn't high enough, we need detailed feedback to identify areas that the closer might be dropping the ball, so that we can make iterations and improvements so that you can get a higher ROI on the front end. Yeah, so that's about it. So that's everything that we're currently doing to implement AI ads and go high level into our clients and for ourselves to generate $5 when we put in $1. Hope that's helpful. Hope you learned a lot of lessons. If you want any of the resources that I mentioned above, again, we've got a free community that has all of these, the snapshots, the workflows, the training videos, as well as our own info course and our own done for you services. So thank you very much. Again, this is not a pitch. This is just me explaining what we do. Thanks.